Hello, everyone. This week I got to watch HMS Pinafore. I'm reporting live from Dallas this week, so I watched the D'Oyly Carte Opera Company version of 1973. It's still the classic operetta of The Lass That Loved a Sailor by Gilbert and Sullivan, but the directors are Michael Healan, Peter Riley, and John Seichel. It should be pretty similar to the traditional, besides critics said the performance exemplifies everything that was going through wrong with the D'Oyly Carte, and it was what eventually led to its closure. They said that there was almost a total lack of the performers becoming their characters, with the exception of Michael Rayner, who's also the director and played Captain Corcoran. They were trying to reproduce Gilbert Sullivan's original staging, but ultimately the new director was not able to waken it up, and people preferred the 1967 version with Gilbert Sullivan starring John Reed and Isidore Joffrey in the pit. There's actually questions regarding the performance's true audience reactions. People thought the audience was canned and added in after taping. Jeff Cresswell, who was played cart chorus and principal tenor understudy for 1969 to 1975, said it was recorded over 3 days. Day 1 was music and vocals, day 2 was lip syncing, and day 3 just intended to tape the audience reactions. He claimed that it was never the intention to use the visuals or sound from its showing, but merely to record audience reaction to dub over, and that was what was already in the can. Michael Rayner, the director, and Captain Corcoran responded by saying that they recorded the sound a couple of weeks before the actual filming. But he said regarding the audience, at the end of filming, they gave a run through to invited audience of many of the famous D'Oyly Carte fans, and that this was filmed for audience reaction purposes, hence the audience applause and laughter being edited at the end. Anyways, I'm here to talk about the theme. I just thought that was interesting with the performance that I watched. We all watched the show, so I'm going to do a little rundown just to introduce it. So Captain Corcoran is the captain of the ship who has a daughter named Josephine, who is set to marry Sir Joseph Porter, or the First Lord of Amberalty. These characters are all higher class systems. Josephine falls in love with Ralph Rackstraw, who's considered a foremast hands or a crew member who is of a lower class systems. They can't be together. Then Buttercup, who comes along with her secret, who cracked my shit up the whole time. But she explains that as their foster mother, she had exchanged the captain and Ralph, they were both babies. This immediately turns into Ralph into the captain into the foremast hand, which results in Ralph marrying Josephine, the captain marrying Buttercup, and the Lord marrying his cousin Hebe. The strongest themes that stuck out to me while watching this was the concept of politics and social justice, as well as comedy. The way I decided to analyze them was to look at politics in the dialogue and the comedy in the score. So the dialogue. This exemplifies a comedic satire of social class. We've seen this archetype time and time again. Harsh class systems still exist today, but it's usually described as a wealth gap, or unfortunately, in most cases, goes completely censored. We see it all the time, but it has become so normalized that we don't consider it a form of harsh class system. According to equal rights activists, going to 2022, women earned 82 cents for every dollar men earned, and the explanation for that is that women are likely to leave the workforce as a result of social expectations placed on them as mothers and caretakers. According to Pay Scale, Black men earn 87 cents for every $1 earned by white men, while Latinos and Native Americans earn 91% of what white men earn. A human rights campaign survey revealed that LGBTQ plus workers earn 10% less than the average worker. Put another way, LGBTQ plus workers earn about 90 cents for every dollar that a typical worker earns. According to the World Population Review, in the United States, there are over 500,000 people experiencing homelessness. And according to the United States Union, in 2021, about 41% of federal transportation and infrastructure spending was on highway transportation, and 32% was on air travel. The remainder was for rail and mass transit and water. In 2021, over $150 billion was spent on infrastructure alone. And as of 2022, there are only 11,118 community housing and homeless shelters in the United States total. Society has normalized class systems, and a model of them still exist. They just look a bit different to the modern eye. On a lighter note, the comedy and the score. Let's just start off with the song I Am the Captain of Pinafore, where we see Captain Corcoran making boastful claims like he's never sick at sea, which the sailors respond with, "What, never?" And he's like, "Well, sometime." Wait, no, he says hardly ever, showcasing the humor behind a high-ranking officer built for the sea that gets seasick. It's reminiscent of the whole show that's meant to satirize the Royal Navy. And the next song that was Little Buttercup. Now, this is actually an example of comedy and what I like to think of as smart, intentional use of comedic characterization. I don't know if that's the correct term. This song is ironic because it sings about something demure and sweet when it is the complete opposite of Buttercup's character, who is harsh and described as red, round, and rosy. And in between all these sweet statements, she states that she got snuff, tobacco, excellent Jackie, and scissors, watches, and knives. The smart, intentional use of the song is, I think, what I was talking about, the smart, intentional use of comedic characterization happens when they play it every time she enters the stage. All in all, I agree with the lecture that definitely more than half of the concepts learned this semester could have been interpreted through HMS Pinafore. This was just the ones that stuck out to me. Thank you for listening.